Students of class 11, today we are going to talk about position vector. Now if there is a body at some point P whose coordinate is x, y and z, then its position vector is a vector whose magnitude is equal to the distance of that point from the origin and its direction is towards the position of the particle from the origin along the line connecting origin and that position of the particle. Now vectorially if we represent it, then position vector of the body, say it is r, will be equal to xi plus yj plus zk, where if you see in the diagram, where x is the distance intercepted by the vector r on the x-axis, y is the distance intercepted by r on the y-axis, and z is the distance of intercepted by r, vector r, on the z-axis. So this is the description of this position vector, and where I, j and k are unit vectors along respectively along positive x-axis, x direction, y-axis and z-axis respectively. Now as it is a position vector is a vector, what should be the direction? We must also know what is the direction of this vector. Now the direction of this vector can be determined by the angle that this vector makes with x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and that say if it is making alpha angle with x-axis, beta angle with y-axis and gamma angle with z-axis, then cos alpha is equal to x upon the magnitude of vector, that is magnitude of vector is x square plus y square plus z square whole under root. Similarly, the angle beta is given by cos beta is equal to y upon the position vector OP, magnitude of position vector OP, and again also in same way cos y is equal to z upon, so cos beta is y upon magnitude of position vector, and cos gamma is equal to z upon magnitude of position vector OP. So this is all about position vector. Now we will talk about parallel vectors. Two vectors are said to be parallel if both are having same direction. Say for example, in this case we are having vector A and vector B, both are directed along same direction, then these will be called parallel vectors. Their magnitude may not be equal, so that is not a condition, only the direction should be same. Now what are equal vectors? Two vectors are said to be equal if their magnitudes are same as well as they have the same direction. And so here you see, though these two vectors are having different locations, but they are equal vectors because the direction of vector A and B are same, and also the magnitude of vector A and B are equal. So what is unit vector? A vector which is having magnitude equal to unity, then in that case the vector is known as unit vector. And we universally take I, j and k as unit vector along positive x-axis, positive y-axis and positive z-axis respectively. Now how we are going to resolve a vector means the description, the details, determining the details of the given vector. So how we are going to determine the reverse process is, you take the vector, say vector is OP, then we drop a perpendicular from that final position and initial position of the vector, that is OP. Since O is common with x-axis and y-axis, so the perpendicular will fall at the same point O itself. Therefore now we are dropping perpendicular from the final position, that is P, on the x-axis, and same again dropping perpendicular on the y-axis from P. The length intercepted by the vector on x-axis is called x, say is taken as x, and the length intercepted on y-axis by vector OP is taken as y, then vector r, that is OP vector, will be equal to xi plus yj. We have considered that this is a two-dimensional case. So in this case we have resolved it. If we want to resolve it for 3 dimensions, we will simply add r vector is equal to xi plus yj plus zk, as you are seeing here. So resolution of vector in 3 dimension is very much similar to that in case of 2 dimension, except we are adding the another z intercept, z coordinate. Now we are going to discuss a very important law, derive it rather, which is called known as law of parallelogram of forces, and it is also called law of cosines. Before we derive it, we must state what this law says. It says that if we have two vectors directed along OQ and OP, as you see in the diagram, and they are applied at any point O, then the resultant of these two vectors A and B will be represented by the diagonal of a parallelogram whose two adjacent sides are equal to these two vectors itself, and the diagonal must pass through the point of intersection of these two vectors, that is, must pass through point O. So before we really start to find the proof for this statement, we do some construction work here. We extend the line ON and draw perpendicular from point S on the line ON, and also we draw a perpendicular from point P on the line OS, that is PM is perpendicular to OS, and SN is drawn on the extended part of OP perpendicular to it. So once we have done the construction work, let us start the proof, deriving it, verifying it. You see here from the triangle P, you see from the triangle P and S, you can see P and S, you can see that the corresponding angles should be equal. That means here you have the angle SPN equal to angle theta, because these two lines are parallel lines, so we need to take it equal to theta itself, because these two are parallel lines. Now the OQ is parallel to PS, and therefore we must take angle SPN equal to theta. And so from this triangle SPN, we have sine theta is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Perpendicular is SN, you see, perpendicular is SN, and hypotenuse is SP. So SP is nothing but it is representing vector B. So we have SN is equal to B sine theta. Again, from this triangle, if we find the value of cos theta is based upon hypotenuse, and that is Pn upon SP, and so that finally gives Pn is equal to B cos theta. So you see, again we have to find